once you've completed your trim sheet, you can just bring it into Maya and then you can get creative with it. Really all it's about is grabbing those edges, cutting, and kind of moving those shells into position. So from the previous video of how to lay out the arch, I have this nice shell laid out. But what I want to do is I want to grab these different sections and kind of lay them into this texture sheet. So I'm going to grab here, grab those edges. I'm just going to go ahead and cut, grab that face, and then I'm going to lay that down into there. And then you can kind of do some pushing, pulling, stretching. This happened to fall perfectly in line right there. And then what I'll probably want to do is make sure that I have a break happening right there. And so this is really all you're going to be doing is going through and kind of cutting them up and laying them out how you want. You can even come in and maybe add a few extra edges. So if I wanted to put an edge loop over here and like frame this out a little bit differently, then I can actually come through, go to edge loop, again, just cut, and then I can grab that face, bring that shell down and do something else with it. So maybe I want to use something that's round and kind of bring that upon there. Now you don't want to put too much stretching inside of your that section, so that's a little bit large. You might want to do something smaller for this. But we really can kind of push and play and see how this flows. So again, maybe what we'll do is we'll put another edge loop in here and we'll put like 2 pieces happening. So go ahead, I'm going to cut. And bring that down. What this is going to do is going to add a lot of variety to your mesh without having to make a lot of custom pieces. And then this can actually end up falling on, you can swap different trim textures out as long as you left your quadrant, like your sections the same. Then I can change this out for something that's metal instead of stone. Or I can go back and just, change a few of these decorative pieces. And really all I'm doing is using one texture versus a bunch of them. Wrong edge. I'm going to do that one. Cut. Again, just grab that face, that shell. And on trim textures, you can definitely overlap. That's not going to be a problem. For something like this, I don't want the same pattern, so maybe I'll come down here, or maybe what I'll do is I'll shift it a little bit. So we're on a different, a different angle. You can even do scaling a little bit. That's not an issue. So you can kind of back out and see how it ends up looking. And all I did was add a little extra to it, and then you just push and pull. That's really all it is. So that's giving you a whole different variety of design rather than leaving it just one continuous piece. Now you could also break it up and have some of these, these edges this way on your edge ring. Lay out something different. It probably won't look good on this, but this is kind of what you're going to be doing. This works for atlasing. Atlasing is the act of taking faces and kind of picking out different areas. So like if I wanted to take this and put an actual stone piece in there, cut, rather than having it, just this whole trim, I can actually come here, grab this face, and lay it over one of these pieces. UVs. Pull that over there. Now this doesn't work particularly for this. I'd have to scale it down a little bit. You know, just so it doesn't look like it's stretching. But you can kind of get an idea of what atlasing does. You can actually pop that in there if it were an appropriate size. This is also how you do the atlasing. You'll do floating decals as well. We can go over that in another video though. So from here, just go through, start playing around with your trims, see what you can come up with. Let's see if you can make something fun or something completely different, just based off of what you have selected. If you need to, you can always go back and adjust your trim textures so that they make more sense for what you're working on. Or if you want to add more interest in there, you can definitely do that. That's really all it is to it.